Every single day is a battle. You'll never win the war because if you don't maintain your business, if you don't win every single day, you're going to lose in the end in sales. If you're not crushing it every single day, if you're not winning that battle of sales in business every single day, you're going to dry up and you're going to lose cash and you are not going to be able to operate.
Welcome to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James.
Hey everyone, it's Jessen here and welcome to another episode of the Mind Over Money podcast. It's great to have you here. I've got a great topic for you today. Now, this podcast is dedicated not just to money. People think this podcast is just about money. Look, at the end of the day, if you haven't got your mind right, your money's not going to be right. It's very, very important that you understand that, okay? Now, as an ex-psychiatric nurse, it's dear to my heart to make sure that people's mental well-beings are good. And in relation to money, let's be honest, when you find it hard to think of anything else because you've got money issues, then all of the rest of your life is kind of like it's out of sync, isn't it? If you think about it, when you ever got money worries, it's very hard to think about anything else. So this show is dedicated to helping you, even if you're going through challenging times with your finances right now, to get a grip on your mindset around things. And this episode, I want to talk into something that most people don't really understand. Your whole life is a war. Your life is a war. And the interesting thing is this, most people think that they're going to win the war, and you're not going to win the war. Let me explain why. Because in life, you may win the battle, but you're not going to win the war. So let's break this down a little bit. With your health, as long as you're looking after yourself every single day, you'll win the battle, which is keeping healthy, staying in good shape, right? Or whatever it is, looking after yourself. The minute you stop doing that, your health is going to deteriorate, which means you lose the war. So therefore, it's a constant war, which means you're constantly fighting to preserve and win the battles. So if you look after yourself every day, chances are you're going to have a healthier life, you're going to live longer, but then you're not going to win the war against death. None of us do, I'm afraid, okay? So, but here's the thing. If you can look after yourself every single day, if you can look after your body, look after your mind, look after your soul, put good food into your body, you're winning battles every single day, which ultimately are pushing the war back. But you're always going to be under attack. Look, they say if you don't make room for health, you'll make room for illness. And that's my whole point. We're constantly in battle. So your whole life is a war. It's the same with your relationships. It's a war. You might win the battle with your partner by taking them out for a meal or giving them attention or looking after them or nurturing them or being a good partner, a supportive spouse or whatever it is. Like, you know, you might do all of these things to your family, to your friends or whatever. You might be supportive in relationships or whatever, but that's you winning the battles every single day. Because the minute you stop balancing relationships, the minute you stop pouring into other people, stop doing the things that are winning the battle at the moment, then the war's going to take over where you are going to lose that person because it's the war. Everything is a war. Think about it. You don't look after your partner, at some point they're going to leave. It means you lose the war eventually, okay? So everything is a constant battle. So you've got to always win these battles. You've got to pour into them. Same as your finances. You might think, hey, Jess, I've got some money in the bank right now. I've got a steady job. I've got steady income. I'm okay. Look, I tell you something. You stop winning that money battle every single day, you'll soon lose the war. That's it. You're always going to be against the thing. So there's always going to be a war going on. You're never going to completely beat the war. You're always going to have to be warring against everything, but you're battling every single day. And why am I even sharing that with you? Because I want you to understand, look, when you are going through this wonderful journey called life, you have to know that every single move you make is trying to help you win. But you're not winning a war, you're winning a battle. You're battling against your health. You're battling against your money. You're battling against relationships. You're battling against your business. Even in business, every single day is a battle. You'll never win the war because if you don't maintain your business, if you don't win every single day, you're going to lose in the end. In sales, if you're not crushing it every single day, if you're not winning that battle of sales in business every single day, you're going to dry up and you're going to lose cash and you are not going to be able to operate. So it's so important that you are fighting battles every single day, but you understand that you're always going to be at war. And I want more people to get that into their heads right now, because the more you get that into your head, the more likely it is that you're going to take things seriously. A lot of us are guilty, including me. I've done it many, many times. And whenever I catch myself doing it, I give myself a slap on the wrist of taking our foot off the gas. we forget that we're at war. We're at war with absolutely everything in our life right now. And it's your job, my friend, because here's the good news, to win the battles. Because you've got the resources around you to win those battles. When it comes to your health, you know how to get healthy if you really want to. There are plenty of resources that are available to you free of charge to move around if you need to move around more, to learn how to eat better. You know how to win battles. In relationships, there are plenty of resources for you to help you win when it comes to your relationships. In business, in your money, there are so many resources available nowadays for you to win. Everything's stacked up in your favor. But most people are not taking advantage of that. They're just running around like a headless chicken, doing the wrong things and not completely oblivious to the fact that we are at war with our own selves. You're at war with your own life. Everything around you isn't necessarily yours. It needs to be maintained or it will get taken from you. Let that sink in. So for those of you right now, because this is the Mind Over Money show, that are worrying about money, it's a war. The money game is a war. But unless you're making those wins, the battle, if you're not winning those little battles every day, if you're not working on income generating activity, if you're not looking at ways of how you can preserve your wealth, if you're not looking at ways that you can make your money better, if you're not looking at ways that how you can educate yourself more on how to bulletproof your finances, you're not winning any of these little battles. And because you're not winning any of these little battles, you're ultimately feeling like you're losing the war. And the truth of the matter is, you are. But you get to change that. It's your life. You get to wake up every single morning and change things. That's the beautiful thing about being a human being. You can reflect on yesterday and go, hey, I messed up yesterday, but you know what? I'm not going to do it again today because you know why? I learned from yesterday. It's so important that you get that into your head, all right? So for those of you feeling like you're losing the battle right now, well, it's because you're not even winning the battles in the first place. You're not even trying. And the war is always going to be on. So what can you do today to start winning some battles? It's about time you started winning because you're a winner. You are a winner. You woke up this morning, you're a winner. You were put on this earth, you're a winner. You're not here by mistake, my friends. So please understand, every day is a war. I want you to take advantage of the skills that you've got available to you. I want you to take advantage of the opportunities you've got available to you. I want you to take advantage of the resources that you've got around you right now to win every single day. Because if you don't, I promise you, the war is going to close in on you and you are not going to like that at all. All right? So look, I love and appreciate every single one of you listening to this. If you are watching or listening for the first time, welcome. If you have been watching for a while or listening for a while, please do me a favor. Like this podcast, subscribe to it, leave us a review as well. Just subscribe on whatever platform you're on, whether that's Spotify or podcast, whatever it is that you're listening this on. Please subscribe, like it, share it with other people, leave us a review as well. And the reason I ask you to leave us a review is because there are people out there who come across all of these podcasts and they don't know who to trust. I'd like to think that I'm a beacon of light in other people's lives. I like to think that I've got words that can massively shift people, hopefully like you have been shifted if you're a regular listener of mine. And I want to get this message out to as many people as I can. I can't do that without your help. So sharing it massively helps and leaving reviews massively help because people stop by and they read these reviews and they go, hey, you know what? I might give that one a listen. So if you haven't done so already, take a moment after this episode to leave me a review and subscribe to the podcast as well. So I appreciate you. This is the Mind Over Money show with Jessen James. I hope you appreciated this episode. Remember to keep winning those battles, people, because the war is always going to be there. So I appreciate you. And until next time, I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care.
You've been listening to the Mind Over Money podcast with Jessen James. Don't forget to subscribe and follow on all the channels. Links in the show notes. Please also leave a review and visit www.jessenjames.com to find more resources on how to create the life you deserve.